Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are doing something that I have been itching to get into for a very, very long time.
Oh, yeah.
We're tackling a subject that, on the surface, it looks like it belongs on a playground or like a Saturday morning cartoon block.
For sure.
But if you scratch that surface, even just a little bit, you find yourself staring into this mythological abyss that is surprisingly... We are talking about Yugi.
It's a fascinating topic.
Yeah.
I think for the uninitiated, or even for people who maybe played the game casually back in the day, it is so easy to dismiss.
Absolutely.
It looks like a marketing vehicle to sell foil cards to kids. And I mean, look, practically speaking, it is that. But if you actually look at the lore, the narrative architecture holding it all together, it's this sweeping mythological epic.
Exact. We usually think of this franchise as spiky hair, heart of the cards, I summon this dragon, you lose life points.
Right, the basics.
But the source material we're working with today, this really comprehensive chronological analysis by Bruce T.S., it completely reframes the entire experience. We aren't just talking about a card tournament.
Not even close.
We're talking about the creation of the universe, ancient Egyptian sorcery, the duality of the human soul, and a war between light and darkness that, it literally transcends time.
It connects dots that I think most viewers just miss. It transforms the story from a sort of monster of the week show into a story about the weight of history.
Oh, yes.
And how the past just bleeds into the present. What struck me most about this deep dive is that the card game itself is really just a modern interface for a very ancient, very dangerous form of magic.
So we have a massive amount of ground to cover, and to do this justice, we can't start with Yugi Muto in high school solving a puzzle. That is actually like the middle of the story.
Oh, for sure. We need to go chronologically.
We have to.
We need to go back to the beginning. And I don't mean ancient Egypt.
No.
I mean Genesis, the very start of existence.
Okay, let's unpack. According to the deep lore analysis, before there were cards, before there were pharaohs, there was just the universe.
Right. The source describes it as an empty chaos, a void. And from this chaos, a universal consciousness decides to divide itself to create life.
Okay.
The first being to emerge from this split was Ra. Now, in this context, Ra isn't just a card or even just a sun god. He's the atom figure, prime mover.
So Ra is the spark that starts everything. But in this mythology, creation requires balance, right? You can't just have light.
Precisely. To create existence, there had to be a... Ra gives rise to two distinct entities representing the fundamental duality of reality.
Okay, so who are they?
You have a Herakti, representing light, and you have Zorc, representing darkness.
Zorc. Now, that is a name that might ring a bell if you made it to the very end of the original series, but here he is established right at the start as fundamental force of nature.
He is the antagonist of existence. While Herakti is the creative force, Zorc is the manifestation of entropy and darkness. And to maintain the balance against Zorc, Herakti splits further.
How so?
To create the three divine dragons. These are names that everyone will recognize, but in this era, they aren't cards. They're actual living deities.
We're talking about the big three.
We are. You have Obelisk the Tormentor, the Lord of Earth and Fire.
Okay.
You have Slifer the Sky Dragon, the Lord of Thunder and the Heavens, and the Winged Dragon of Ra, the Lord of Spirit. These entities were created to be the guardians of the light.
It really changes how you view the anime when you realize that later on, when a kid plays a Slifer card, they are basically holding a divine grenade.
That's it.
They're summoning a shard of the creator god.
That is exactly what is happening. But the creation myth doesn't stop with the god. It trickles down to the beasts that populate the earth. The lore highlights two specific dragons that stood out as perfect opposites.
And this is important.
It's really important because it sets up a dynamic that lasts for 5,000 years.
Let me guess. One is white and one is black.
You nailed it. You had the Blue Eyes White Dragon, which was a symbol of light, provision, and protection.
The icon.
And opposing it was the Red Eyes Black. Now, Red Eyes isn't evil per se, but it represents hunger, misery, and chaotic potential.
That is such a cool detail. It perfectly sets up the rivalry we see millennia later between Kaiba and Joey Wheeler.
Yes.
You have the elite, perfect, powerful Blue Eyes versus the scrappy, chaotic, underdog Red Eyes. It's not just a personality clash, it's a cosmic balance.
It is written into their soul. And speaking of souls, we need to talk about when humans enter the picture. This is where we get the magic system.
Right.
The source explains the rise of mages humans who could channel magic, and this introduces the concept of the Ba and the Ka.
Okay, I remember this coming up in the final season, but it can get a little... Bring that down for us. What is...
So think of the Ba as the human essence. It's your life force, your battery. It's the part of you that makes you you.
Got it.
The Ka, however, is an inner monster or spirit that resides within the soul. It's shaped by your personality, your trauma, your nature.
So everyone essentially has a monster living inside them.
In this ancient context, yes. Mages learned to summon these Ka monsters from the spirit world to fight for them. But there was a massive danger.
What was that?
The ka feeds on the ba. If your life force got too low, or if you lost control of your emotion, the monster could consume you. You would become a mute. Someone merged so completely with their inner monster that they could never be separated.
It's high-stakes Pokemon. If you lose, your Pokemon.
That is a disturbingly accurate way to put it. And this leads us to the first major crisis in human history involving these powers. The origin of Exodia.
Exodia, the Forbidden. In the game, he's an instant win, but...
The backstory is just incredible. There was a specific mage who became so powerful, his magical reserve was so vast, that he managed to seal 1,000 dragons in a single night.
Wait, one guy taking on 1,000 dragons?
Alone, and he won. The dragon gods Slifer, Obelisk, Raparai, they looked at this human and said, this is a threat.
Not a hero.
Not a hero. It wasn't a reward for his bravery. It was a containment procedure. They imprisoned him in cursed chains and sealed him in a pentagram to dampen his power. That entity became Exodia.
That makes the card mechanic make so much sense. You have to gather the 5 pieces, the legs, the arms, the head, to break the seal.
Yes.
You aren't summoning him to fight. You are unlocking his cage.
Exactly. It establishes that there are powers in this universe that even the gods fear.
Yeah.
So that's a primordial setup. We have gods, we have magic monsters living inside souls, and we have looming darkness.
Okay.
Now, we need to jump forward to the era most fans know, ancient Egypt.
Right, about 3,000 to 5,000 years. This is where the tragedy really... We have the Pharaoh Atem ruling Egypt, but the kingdom is under attack.
Egypt is being besieged by sorcerers who are following Zorc. The kingdom is on the brink of destruction.
Oh.
And this is where we see the classic dilemma of power versus morality. The pharaoh's brother, Akhenaten, proposes a desperate solution. He finds the Millennium Book, which contains a spell to create the Millennium Items.
And he tells the pharaoh, hey, we need these items to win the war. But the pharaoh doesn't know the price tag, right? He's in the dark.
No, Akhenaten agrees because he thinks he has no choice. But the ritual to create these items, it's just horrific.
Where did it happen?
It took place at a village called Kul Elna. This was a place for outcasts the People's Society wanted to forget.
This is the part of the lore that definitely didn't make it into the Saturday morning cartoon edit in the same way. It is dark.
It is incredibly dark. Akhenaten and his soldiers massacred the village. Men, women, children.
The whole village.
Everyone. They took 99 souls, and they didn't just kill them. They melted them down in a gold cauldron to forge the 7 Millennium Items.
They melted the souls.
Yes. The items are literally made of human suffering. They are solid blocks of agony. And there was a witness.
Oh, no.
A child named Bakura saw his entire village, his family, everyone he knew, being turned into these magical artifacts.
And suddenly Bakura's character makes total sense. He isn't just a generic bad guy.
No.
He's a survivor of a genocide caused by the royal family.
Exact. His heart was instantly consumed by hatred, which acted as a beacon for Zorc. Zorc took possession of the child, using that trauma as a foothold in the physical world. This created the vengeful spirit that would haunt history for millennia.
Wow. So the items are created. They have incredible powers mind reading, seeing the future, judging souls. They do save Egypt, right?
They do. They repel the invaders. But the cost isn't just the dead villagers. The ritual opened the door.
A door for Zorc.
It released a massive fragment of Zorc's power into the world. When Pharaoh Atem found out the truth about how the items were made, he was crushed by guilt. He eventually died, leaving the throne to his son, Atem.
Enter Yugi, or rather, Atem, the original pharaoh. But before we get to his reign, we have to talk about another key relationship that starts here.
Yes.
The origin of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. This involves Seto.
Priest Seto is Akhenaten's son, though Seto doesn't know it initially. He was raised essentially as a commoner, eventually becoming a priest and a holder of the Millennium Rod. He's brilliant, arrogant, but he has a capacity for love.
And that love is directed at a girl named Kisara.
Kisara. She's an outcast. She has pale skin, white hair, blue eyes. She is being persecuted, treated like a witch by the locals.
But Seto sees something else.
He senses this immense power within. He saves her.
This is the romance that echoes 1,000.
It is. The power inside Kisara is the spirit of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. But unlike other mages who summon monsters, her spirit is the dragon. They are inextricably linked.
So they form a bond.
They do. But Akhenaten, who is now corrupted by the evil of the Millennium Eye and Zorc, wants his son, Seto, to be pharaoh.
So we have a Game of Thrones situation here. The uncle wants to overthrow the nephew Atem to put his own son on the throne.
Exactly. And to do that, Akhenaten believes Seto needs the ultimate power. He tries to force the Blue Eyes White Dragon out of Kisara.
And this ends badly.
The tragedy is that Kisara sacrifices herself to save Seto from his father's madness. She takes a fatal blow that was intended for him.
Heavy.
As she dies, her spirit is sealed into the stone tablet as the blue-eyes white dragon. And this is crucial for you to understand. The reason Seto Kaiba in the modern day is so obsessed with the blue eyes is not just because it has high attack points.
He represents Kisara.
It is the soul of the woman who loved him and died for him 3,000 years ago. He is chasing a memory he doesn't consciously have.
That's why he has the jets shaped like them.
He builds theme parks dedicated to it. He's mourning a ghost.
That adds so much tragedy to Kaiba. He's this cold tech billionaire, but his driving force lost love.
Okay, so back in Egypt, things are falling apart. Zorc is manifesting.
Zorc is fully unleashed, the Dark Master. He's threatening to destroy the entire world. Atem, the pharaoh, realizes conventional victory is impossible.
He can't win in a straight fight.
He cannot destroy Zorc without destroying everything. So he makes the ultimate sacrifice.
He pulls a seal-away move.
He uses his own name as a key. He seals his own soul and Zorc's power into the Millennium Puzzle. But to ensure the seal can never be broken by Zorc, he wipes his own memory.
He forgets his own name.
He erases his own name from history. He saves the world. But he condemns himself to 3,000 years of darkness and silence inside that puzzle.
And that is where the ancient story pauses. The tablets are buried, the items are scattered, the tombs are sealed.
And we fast forward 3 millennia.
To the 20th century.
Specifically the 1960s to the 90s, we have Solomon Muto, Yugi's grandfather, who is an archaeologist or a tomb raider, depending on how you view it. Right. And he finds the Millennium Puzzle.
He does. And he gives it to his grandson, Yugi Muto.
Let's talk about Yugi for a second. Before the spiky hair and the leather pants transformation, who is he?
He is a lonely kid. The source emphasizes that he spent 8 years trying to solve this puzzle, from age 7 to 15.
8 years?
Think about that. 8 years of sitting in your room with a golden box.
That is dedication or extreme loneliness.
It's both. He makes a wish on the puzzle. He doesn't wish for power or money. He wishes for true friends.
That's the core of Yugi's character.
It is. He is not power hungry. He just wants connection. When he finally solves it, he awakens Atem. But, and this is a detail often forgotten, the Atem that wakes up initially isn't the noble hero.
Right. Season 0 vibe. He's a bit of a savage.
He is a dark enforcer of justice. He inflicts penalty games on people who hurt Yugi. He creates illusions, drives people insane. He's channeling that ancient, harsh justice of the pharaohs.
He has to be tempered.
It takes Yugi's gentleness to slowly humanize him over the series.
And around this time, we see the reemergence of Seto Kaiba. But now he is a modern orc, adopted by Gozaburo Kaiba.
Kaiba's backstory is fascinatingly grim. He was a chess prodigy. He essentially outsmarted his adoptive father, a military arms dealer, took over his company in a hostile takeover, and drove the man to suicide. Though the anime softens that part.
Wow. And he pivots the company from weapons to gaming, specifically holograms.
Why hologram? The analysis suggests it's subconscious. In Egypt, they summon real monsters from stone tablets. Modern humans can't do that.
So he's bridging the gap.
He builds technology to bridge that gap. He is trying to make the magic real again. He is trying to see the blue eyes again without realizing why.
That is deep. And of course, his obsession with blue eyes leads to that famous moment where he tears up Solomon's blue eyes card so that only 3 exist all in his deck.
Which sets up the first major duel, Yugi versus Kaiba.
The Exodia moment.
Yugi gathers all 5 pieces. Exodia, obliterate. But the most important part isn't the win, it's what happens after.
The mind crush.
Yes. Atem uses the power of the puzzle to shatter the darkness in Kaiba's heart. He breaks Kaiba's personality so he has to rebuild it.
It sounds cruel.
But it actually saves Kaiba from becoming a monster like his adoptive father. It forces him to start over and find his own path.
It sets him on the path to being an anti-hero rather than a straight villain. Now, we have to talk about the man who invented the card game in the modern era, Maximilian Pegasus.
Pegasus is another tragic figure, mirroring the ancient sorrow. He creates dual monsters based on the ancient tablets he saw in Egypt. He has the Millennium Items.
Oh, what's his motivation?
He is trying to revive his dead wife, Cecilia.
It always comes back to lost love and death.
It does. He is trying to use the magic of the Millennium Items combined with Kaiba's holographic technology to bridge the gap between life and death. He thinks if he gets enough power, he can see her again.
Yes, he kidnaps Soul,
including Yugi's grandfather, to force Yugi into a tournament.
Duelist Kingdom. This arc gave us some iconic moments. Weevil throwing Exodia into the ocean, which, honestly, strategic genius, even if he is.
It was smart. It removed Yugi's nuclear option immediately. It forced Yugi to actually learn how to duel using strategy and synergy rather than relying on an instant win condition.
It made him a better duelist.
Exactly. And we see Joey Wheeler really stepping up here. He's the underdog, fighting for his sister's eyesight.
He's the heart of the show.
In many ways, he is. He has no ancient destiny, no money, no magic item. He just has grit. His duel against May Valentine is a great example.
With the Harpy Ladies?
May is using Harpy Ladies, a very technical deck. Joe uses the Time Wizard. He gambles on luck.
The Time Wizard coin flip?
Right. He ages the Harpies until they're old and weak and evolves his baby dragon into a 1,000 dragon.
Oh.
It is chaotic. It breaks the rules of the real card game. But in the narrative, it shows his willingness to take risks.
And then we get the showdown, Yugi versus Pegasus. This is a battle of minds, because Pegasus can literally read minds with his eye.
Which creates a fascinating tactical problem. How do you beat someone who knows what card you're going to play before you play it?
They use the mind shuffle, right?
Exactly. Yugi and Atem switch souls constantly. When Yugi is in control, Atem doesn't know the move. When Atem is in control, Yugi's dormant.
So they're hiding from each other.
They block the mind reading by splitting the conscious. Since they are two souls in one body, they can hide information from each other. It is a brilliant use of the lore mechanics applied to game.
After Pegasus is defeated, we move into the next major phase. The past is really starting to catch up now. We get Battle City, and we meet Merrick.
Merrick is the foil to everyone. He's a tomb keeper. His family has guarded the Pharaoh's secret for 3,000 years, living underground, bearing tattoos on their back.
And he is sick of it.
He hates the Pharaoh. He killed his own father in a fit of rage and possession. He sees his destiny as a curse.
So what's his goal?
He wants to gather the 3 Egyptian god cards, Slifer, Obelisk, and Ratu, rule the world, and destroy the Pharaoh for ruining his life.
The god cards. These things were terrifying.
They were forces of nature. Kaiba organizes the Battle City tournament specifically to get these cards. He already has Obelisk. Yugi manages to get Slifer by defeating one of Merrick's puppets, the Mime.
That duel was wild. The Mime had a deck that made Slifer infinitely strong because Slifer's attack is based on hand size.
And Yugi wins by attacking the deck. He uses the infinite loop strategy. He forces the Mime to keep drawing cards until he has no cards left.
Deck out victory.
It showed that raw power isn't enough. You need intellect.
But the pivotal moment of Battle City for me is the semifinal. Kaiba versus Yugi, Obelisk versus Slifer.
The clash of the Titan. And it's more than that. When their two god monsters collide, the energy is so intense that it destroys the holograms. The glass shatter.
But the monsters don't disappear.
They stay there. They're sensing the real ancient magic. Kaiba and Yugi start having visions of their past lives. Priest Seto and Pharaoh Atem fighting in ancient Egypt.
This is where it stops being a game.
It is the moment where the game stops being a game. Kaiba can't deny the magic anymore, even though he tries to ration.
And then the finals, Yugi versus Merrick. Merrick is using the winged dragon of Ra. This is a shadow game. People are losing their life force, physically painful.
And Yugi has to save Merrick from himself, right? Merrick has evil alter ego, Yami Merrick, born from his trauma and hatred.
Correct. The victory isn't just reducing life points to 0. Yugi helps the good Merrick regain control and banish his evil side.
An exorcism through cards.
By winning, Yugi gathers all 3 god cards and all the Millennium.
The stage is set. He has the items. He has the gods. He has the puzzle. It's time to finish what started 3,000 years ago. They go to the memory world.
This is the final arc. Yugi and his friends literally travel inside the Millennium Puzzle, into the Pharaoh's memory.
It's like an RPG.
They are in ancient Egypt watching the events we discussed in the beginning play out in time.
A tabletop RPG of truth. They are seeing the tragedy of Cool Elm, the creation of the items, the fall of the kingdom. But Zorc returned. The ultimate evil is back, and history is threatening to repeat itself.
Atem is fighting Zorc, but Zorc is infinite. He defeats Exodia. He defeats the gods. It looks hopeless.
And this leads to the ultimate summit, the one bigger than the god cards.
What happens?
Atem finally learns his true name. That was the key. He had wiped it to seal Zorc, but now his friends help him find it.
Atem.
By speaking his name, he summons the 3 gods and fuse not into a monster, but into a creator deity. Horakti, the creator of light.
And Horakta just deletes Zorc.
One attack, light of creation. Zorc is obliterated. The darkness that plagued the timeline for 5,000 years is finally gone. The balance is restored.
So mission accomplished. Evil is defeated, but the show isn't over. There is one loose end.
A massive... Atem is a spirit. He's been dead for 3,000. He doesn't belong in the modern world.
He needs to move on.
He needs to move on to the afterlife. But the rite of passage requires a ceremonial duel.
The vessel versus the spirit. Yugi Muto versus Atem.
This is the most emotional duel in the series. Yugi has to defeat the person who taught him everything. He has to defeat the strongest duelist in history, a literal demigod with the power to manipulate fate, to prove that he is ready to stand on his own.
And Atem isn't holding back. He summons all 3 Egyptian god cards. It's like fighting the final boss on hard mode.
It seems impossible. But yeah. Yugi has grown. He doesn't use brute force. He uses strategy. He uses the gold sarcophagus card.
Explain that move. It's brilliant.
Gold sarcophagus allows you to remove a card from the game. Yugi uses it to seal away Monster Reborn.
Ooh.
He predicts that Atem will try to use Monster Reborn to bring back a god. By sealing it, he negates Atem's ability to resurrect the past.
That is so symbolic. He is literally telling the Pharaoh, the dead cannot return. You cannot use Monster Reborn on yourself. You have to go.
Exactly. It is a rejection of the past in favor of the future. Yugi dismantles the gods one by one. The little boy who needed the puzzle to be brave has surpassed the Pharaoh.
He defeats Atem, and in doing so, he sets him free.
Atem walks through the door to the afterlife. The temple collapses, the Millennium Items fall into a pit and are buried, the magic is gone.
And we are left with Yugi, just Yugi.
But he is not just Yugi. As the outro of the source material note, this is a journey from a lonely boy solving a puzzle to a confident man. He has integrated the lessons of the Pharaoh into himself.
So what does this all mean? When we look at this massive stack of lore, from melting souls in pots to holographic drag, what is the take?
I think the core theme is symbolized by the Ankh. In the show, they talk about visible but invisible things.
Friendship, memories.
Right. The bond between Yugi and his friends wasn't magic. It was real. The magic was just a catalyst.
And there's that lingering question about time.
Right. It's the cycle. Did Seto Kaiba create the technology because he was a genius? Or was he compelled to create it because his soul remembered the blue-eyes white dragon from 3,000 years ago?
That's the question.
The story suggests that we are all products of our past, but we have the power to break the cycle. Marik broke his family's cycle. Kaiba broke his father's cycle, and Yugi broke the cycle of the Pharaoh needing to save the world, allowing Atem to finally rest.
That is beautiful. It turns a card game into a story about self-actualization and letting go. It's not just about the heart of the cards.
It's about the heart of the person holding them.
Well, on that profound note, I think I need to go dig my old deck out of the closet. I think I have a dark magician somewhere in there.
Just don't go melting any souls down for items, please.
No promises. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll catch you on the next.